International Off-Grid Move Part 3, the overwhelm. Everything is on a deadline. So just imagine in college when you had just a shit ton of stuff to do and you're feeling like, and waking up in the middle of the night, not sleeping well, and having all that going on. Or like every intense work deadline all moved into one. Well, that's what we have going on in 4 separate arenas. So arena number 1 that you might want to consider when doing this shit is selling the house. Everything that goes into it. So if you're like us and you have small children, then your walls are probably going to look something along the lines of this. Spackle everywhere, stickers everywhere, because the kids have used hammer and nails and stickers on every single thing that we own, including markers on walls. So we have to clean all that shit and make it look nice. And then you have to purge your house of all the stuff so it looks good for a sale. And then you have to clean the outside and clean the garage, and all at the same time we are purging a 5-bedroom house down into 5 cubic meters, which is a lifting bar long, a lifting bar tall, and half a lifting bar wide. And well, that's not a lot now, is it? So that's one deadline, house deadline. Then we have visa deadlines, and that is something. I'm an American citizen, my kids are American citizens, my wife is not. And so we have to make sure that we're doing everything exactly correctly so we don't get screwed over by the US government, immigration across the board. And we play the game, they want the game played because that's how you're supposed to play the game, and anything else doesn't work. We've done this visa stuff before. We kind of know what we're getting into. But that's another deadline that needs to be met. And then there's certain options within that deadline. And then the next deadline is the actual move date. So we are coming up on that in 3.5 months, which means that we've got to get all of this stuff. We're getting the house ready for sale in 15 days. We're getting everything ready to move in 3.5 months. I have an entire brick and mortar gym that I need to disassemble and sell the piece parts or give away. And I've already given away a lot of it. And then I have to work very diligently on making sure that every single one of my brick and mortar clients is taken care of online. And I've been doing that work for a while, but that is another deadline to meet. So it's deadline after deadline after deadline after deadline. None of this is easy. None of it is simple. And you're going to have to want it if you want to do this shit, because it is exhausting. It's completely exhausting. Not a flex, not a pissing contest, but I have been working 70-hour weeks for the last almost 2 months to get all of this stuff ready and done. Now, your life situation might be different than mine, and it might not be that complicated, but it's a tremendous, huge, ridiculous amount of labor to get to the point that you can move. And then it will be a tremendous, ridiculous, huge amount of labor to actually get all the stuff going on off-grid site. That's another side of research going on, and that's another deadline that's happening. So it's a lot of balls to juggle, and there needs to be a plan in place for literally everything. Now, if you're an organized son of a bitch like me, you can do that. But if you have control issues like me, then you're going to struggle a lot when things don't go the way you plan. And nothing is going to go the way you plan, because nothing has gone the way that we planned. Some has been good, some has been bad. But we have to navigate this whole situation as a family. We have to make sure that the kids are taken care of and they know what's going on. We have to make sure that we are taken care of and we know what's going on, and that everybody get a chance to express their emotion, because moving is mourning. You are giving up a part of your life. You're essentially killing it and you're getting rid of it. And that's okay. That's not a bad thing, but you do have to process the emotions around it, just as we have to process our emotions around it. And when we're moving internationally, and so there's some people that I'm kind of understanding that I might never see again, and there's other people that I really love and care about that I'm going to see very rarely. And so there's a mourning about that aspect as well. It starts to hit now. That emotional charge, you're like, holy shit, my time with these people is limited. And it's not something that's talked about, and it's not something that's prepared for. So I would recommend, if this is a lifestyle that intrigues you, that you examine all of these aspects. The fact that you need to manage all these deadlines, the fact that there is a huge and tremendous amount of labor involved, and nothing about it is simple. And that even if you're moving across country or a state over or a couple towns over, there will be a sense of mourning, because you are losing a life that you have lived for a long time. You are starting something wonderful and positive. We're starting something that is going to add so much value to our existences and our children's existences, but there is a cost. There's a cost associated with everything. And if you're ready to pay the cost, it's good to go. But if you're not ready to pay the cost, I think this process would be horrible. Now the process is just overwhelming because of all this stuff, but it is not horrible. It's still positive. Oh, those are all the considerations that you can look into when doing this international move thing or doing the off-grid move in society as a whole. So stay tuned for part 4.